Forward march! We do not stop until the sun falls beneath the tree. I am Sangrama, honored general of the Khmer Empire, tasked with quelling a rebellion. Just a year after the passing of the revered Surьяварман I, his successor, inspiring an army of largely levy soldiery is difficult. Most are simple farmers and craftsmen, strangers to the way. As we trudged through the mud, I summoned the captains to the front of the line. Knowing them personally, these men speak to the troops directly under their command in a different way than I ever could. Surьяварман was once little more than a magnate with a minor claim to the throne held by another. Gathering his army, Surьяварман marched on Angkor.
From this camp we will build up and strike at Angkor. Udaya Surьяварман I's reign ends this day.
Listened eagerly as I gave my account of the usurpation. Despite a numerical disadvantage, Surьяварман's tactical acumen proved critical to the success of entering Angkor. Surьяварман gave the order to his disciplined army that the city was to be left intact, the civilians unharmed. Ascent to power does not come easily. Tree spring to take its place. Such was the case with Surьяварман. Rebel factions sprung up to the north, east, and south of Angkor. Legions of disgruntled soldiers marched on the city. The most dangerous rebel faction was led by Jayavirvarman, a warlord from Malaysia with a distant claim to the throne. Surьяварман had to act quickly. The rebel forces, were they to unite, would present quite a challenge to an army that had only recently hit. There was precious little time.
The rebel scum threaten us from 3 directions. Strike them down quickly before they can pool their forces.
Humans are interesting creatures. At times they display incredible brilliance. One can only wonder at the folly that caused the rebel factions to not coordinate their forces. A bundle of sticks is difficult to break, but Surьяварman's victory assured that this lesson would not. As the empire boomed, its neighbors became wary. A growing tiger gorged itself on the prey that it deems most. Some dreaded the looming war and prayed that their fears were unjustified. Others prepared for it. The kingdom of Tambralinga, a vassal of the great Srivijayan Thessalocracy, felt particularly threatened. The empire was surrounded by hostile neighbors, and conflict was imminent. It seemed that the only thing left to defend the various Burmese kingdoms to the west of the empire behaved with hostility, but a potential ally lay beyond. The Cholas, a powerful, dispatching and diplomatically skilled envoy laden with gifts, could be enough to convince Rajendra Chola that an alliance was
The road west is perilous. You may have your pick of as many of my troops as you can afford to pay with the gold that I have given you.
We're planning to Chow Raya, like just beyond here.
Enemy outpost lies to the west. I would advise you to take the southern route.
These parapets will crush all that stand in your way. The Bristol division is at your command, sire.
But
We have the men beneath. Onwards! The bridge vest has been prepared for us. Despite the hardships of the journey through hostile territory, the diplomatic convoy arrived in Chola lands. Large, especially impressive, was a grand chariot, a work fashioned by the finest craftsmen. A bargain was struck, and the envoy returned. With the alliance made and the pieces on the board, conflict was inevitable. The Tambralingas themselves posed only a token threat, but they had the support. The prowess of the Srivijayan navy was unmatched, but their coalition was at its tactical disadvantage. The Khmer forces threatened the enemy by land. Surьяварман sent word to the Chola force to establish a foothold on the Malay Peninsula. Taking the initiative, he ordered the outfitting of a map. Everything hinged on the success of the Chola force that had landed on the mainland. If they could present a formidable enough threat and occupy the enemy land, if the Cholas were driven from their foothold, the Khmer would be forced to face down their opponents alone.
Our Chola allies have established a foothold on Tambralinga lands. It must be held at all costs.
Storms raged as wooden vessels rammed into each other. A deafening sound. The Chola land force fought bravely, holding to the mast. Just as it seemed that they were consigned, victory has a glorious taste. Over the course of a single... But the maritime rivals of the empire crushed. Surьяварман set his sights on the mainland. As the war with the Tambralinga Srivijaya alliance had progressed, it had not escaped his attention. The rulers of the various Burmese and Cham kingdoms slunk around in the shadows like disgraced cravens. Instead of recognizing the superior, this behavior was unacceptable. Suryavarman's enemies may have been too intimidated to face the Khmer juggernaut head-on, but triumphant, it was high time that the empire saw further expansion. The Mekong and Chao Phraya rivers snaked through rich, triumph would add yet another achievement to Suryavarman.
Bountiful lands surround us, ripe for the taking. We shall build an empire to last 1,000 years.
Hegemony is a wonderful thing. The power and prestige of the Khmer Empire reached new levels on this. Despite being known as a great conqueror, Suryavarman was not simply a militaristic aggressor. His reign was marked by he erected numerous palaces and temple complexes and ruled benevolently. His legacy lives through these structures. This legacy is a cause worth defending, for Suryavarman's image lives on within it. It is this notion of greatness